Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to do a quick video, and I thought I would kind of throw it back to a popular video that went around the internet. I don't know, it's been going around for years, and ASMR artists have done it, as well as, non-ASMR artist YouTubers, and it's called the accent tag. So I've always been really interested in accents, and also kind of regional phrasing. I think, I grew up in Ohio. I lived in the same city until I left to go to college, and I went to college in a different part of the country, and I always thought it was really fun to see the differences in accents, and also the differences in different words you'd use for the same thing. So the beginning of this tag is going through those different words that you might use to describe something. So I'm going to read the question, and then I thought I'd also, to make it more interesting, just use some dry erase markers and kind of illustrate the question, or when I'm pronouncing words, I'll write out the word. So the first question is, what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? So where I'm from, you would call that TPing, I guess, like toilet papering, but I don't think anyone calls it toilet papering. You would say, you got TP'd last night, or you're going TPing. Okay, the second question is, what is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? So we call that a few different things. Potato bug, or maybe pill bug. Honestly, I feel like we came across these a lot as kids, and I haven't really seen one in a long time, so I don't really remember. I know roly-poly is also a thing people call them. I feel like we normally stuck to potato bug or pill bug. Okay, the next one is one of my favorites. So, what is a bubbly carbonated drink called? It's pop. So this was one that when I went off to college, I wouldn't even think twice. I would just say pop, and sometimes people didn't even know what I was talking about. So most of them would say soda. To me, it's always been pop. Like if you were getting food for a party, someone would say, "Oh, should I get any pop?" And then you'd be like, "Yeah, go get like Sprite and Coke." I feel like soda, it sounds so old-fashioned, like I'm going off to the like malt shop in the 1950s and getting something from the soda fountain. It just makes me laugh, but anyone else who uses soda, they think pop sounds totally dumb. But that is definitely 100% what we call it, and everyone I grew up with calls it. The next question is, what do you call gym shoes? This is another difference I've noticed. So we call them tennis shoes. It's just natural to say tennis shoes when I'm talking about them. A lot of my friends from college say sneakers, which I mean, the word itself doesn't really make sense. Like, what are you sneaking off to? Or, what, you're not sneaking in them, but then again, you don't wear tennis shoes just to play tennis. So I'm not really sure where that came from, but if I say I need to buy a new pair of, gym shoes, I'm not gonna say, oh, I need to go to the store and buy some sneakers. I'm gonna say I need a new pair of tennis shoes. Um, yeah, I realize that's kind of a weird one, but that's definitely what we called them growing up. Okay, question 5 is, what do you call a group of people? Definitely, you guys. I am not from an area where you say y'all. For sure, that is not what we say. Um, People in college said it a lot more, and it's definitely, uh, it's kind of catchy to use, and it's shorter, not as many syllables, and it's also non-gendered, which is nice. Um, so I appreciate it, but I feel like I'm a poser if I say it because I'm not a southerner. Okay, the next question is, what do you call the spider with an oval-like body and really long legs? So this is called daddy longlegs. Not sure why. I get the long legs part. This part is a little weird. That is just what we call them, though. Okay, the next question is, what do you call your grandparents? So, none of my grandparents are alive anymore, but growing up, we called my mom's mother Gram. We called my dad's mother Grandma. My dad's father died before I was born, and then my mom's father we called Grandpa. So really not imaginative. I know, I think this was one that my mom's mom had kind of thought about and chosen ahead of time because she wanted something that sounded a little, I guess, hipper than like grandma or Grammy. Yeah, but I know other areas definitely use a ton of other words, but we were pretty straightforward and not imaginative. Okay, question 8. What do you call the wheeled contraption you put your stuff in at the grocery store? So this one, I guess we would call a grocery cart, or maybe a shopping cart. Definitely not a trolley or anything else. Mostly, I mean, if like my mom said, she would basically just say, go get a cart. I guess we don't use the full name. Usually it's just a cart. Okay, question 9. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? We don't really have a word for that. I feel like I've heard a sun shower. I don't think we really called it anything. If the sun was shining and it was raining, I would hope for a rainbow. I wouldn't call it anything. I'd probably just go outside and see if a rainbow forms. Okay, this is the last question for this section. So the question is, what do you call the thing that you change the TV channels with? This is a remote or a remote control, but usually we just say the remote. And it always gets lost. Okay, so now is the section where you have to pronounce a bunch of words the way you'd pronounce them. So I'm gonna write them on here and then I will talk through them. Okay, this is the first set of words. So, number one, we say aunt. I have never said aunt ever. Roof. This one, which I feel like for a lot of people is the same, it kind of differs depending on it. Like I might say, what route should we take? But then it's like Route 66. I don't know why. Wash. Oil. Feeder. Iron. Salmon. Caramel. I've never said caramel. Fire. Water. Sure. I usually say data, not data. Ruin. This one is very specific to where I grew up. I know a lot of people insist it's pronounced crayon. Some really weird people say crown. We say cran. It's one syllable, like cranberries without the berries. It's cran. I need a box of crayons. Do you have a brown crayon? It's not crayon. I don't know why. Honestly, I'm never really sure how to pronounce this. If it's supposed to be New Orleans or New Orleans or New Orleans, I guess I'd say New Orleans. Usually I say pecan, I guess, not pecan. I don't really say this word that often. And both. Okay, this is the second group from the list. Again, probably spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, not syrup, syrup, pajamas. So this with this and ant, so where I'm from, like I've said in other videos, I grew up in Northeast Ohio. We kind of have a reputation for having really nasally A sounds. Like if I said cat or hat, or bat, or I noticed like we would never say aunt and pajamas. We'd say aunt and pajamas. And I always kind of thought if you said aunt or pajamas, like you had to be really fancy or like British or something. But when I went off to school in a different state, I guess like my accent was probably the strongest it ever was because I was coming from 18 years of living in Ohio, and people would always ask me if I was from up north. I don't know exactly what up north meant to them, but I guess I might sound similar, maybe to other northern Midwestern accents, or maybe Canada, or maybe that's just what they thought. But yeah, it's interesting. Caught, naturally, naturally, like not naturally, naturally. Aluminum, and I feel like I kind of say envelope or envelope interchangeably. So that is the end of the list from the accent tag. But there are a few other words that I definitely found I had significant differences with my friends in college. I don't know if this was because of the specific part of the country they were from. I guess I don't know who is right or who is in the minority. These are a few other words. Okay, so this one, I say tour, like the number two and then or. Some people say tour, which honestly, when it sounds so different to me that when they say tour, I think they're saying that, like I tore my shirt. Um, it should be a tour. You're touring a mansion. I don't know. Okay, these two are kind of connected, and it's in this O sound. So I say orange and Florida. Some of the people I met say orange and Florida, which it always kind of drove me crazy because I feel like it's the O sound. It's supposed to be O, orange, Florida. It's interesting. And then there's this other difference I noticed with combinations of words. So these are two names, first names, that are pretty common, at least in the US. I say them exactly the same. So if I was talking about someone with this name and someone with this name, I would say Aaron did whatever and Aaron did this. Some of my friends would, I think this one they'd probably still say is Aaron, but this one is more like Aaron. I don't know how to explain it. But I say them exactly the same. And then it's the same with these two words. So this, I guess, this is a first name, Mary. And then this is Mary, like Merry Christmas. I say them exactly the same, Mary and Mary. But other people would say like Mary. So sometimes it confused people. Like, I guess if they're used to hearing the words differently, they wouldn't know which one I meant or like what person I was referring to. If we knew like people with both of these names. So that was just something interesting that I noticed in college. So, like I said, I am really interested in accents and regional variations in words. I'm going to see if I can think of off the top of my head a few other differences. Okay, so I can't draw, but say you were going down the highway and you saw this giant vehicle. You know, it has this front part and then it has this gigantic back part, and it's storing, you know, all this cargo. It has a lot of wheels. What would you call that? We always call it a semi truck, or just a semi. So you'd be like, yeah, I guess semi. So you'd be like, oh my god, there's so many semis on the road. Or I was driving, the semi totally cut me off. I guess we wouldn't just call it a truck because a truck could be a lot of things. That could be like a Ford pickup truck. It could be like a much smaller truck, like a moving truck. I don't really get what the semi means because it's not like they're a semi truck, like a part truck. Maybe it's because they're technically split into two pieces. I don't know. But I realized a lot of people I went to school with called them 18-wheelers. I think it was 18, like some number in the teens, because they have like 18 wheels. We never called them that, so that's interesting. And they didn't really understand this name either. But that's just how we always learned it. Okay, Okay, the other one I know. So say like this is your driveway. Here's the street. This part is your lawn, and this is the sidewalk. You have this little strip of lawn between the sidewalk and the road. You maybe have like trees growing on it. This is where you'd leave like your garbage cans for the garbage truck to pick off. What's the name of this? We call it a tree lawn. So, go leave the garbage can on the tree lawn. You can put the leaves you raked out on the tree lawn. Some people I know don't have a word for this at all. It might be, I'm guessing, like, especially if you grew up in an area that didn't have a tree lawn, you're not going to have a name for it. But the neighborhood I grew up in, we had full sidewalks, and then this, and then the road. Okay, and then one last one I can think of off the top of my head. This is hard to tell what this is, but yeah, that's not proportionally right, but it's a box hanging off a wall like at your school. You press a little button, it spits out water at you for you to drink. What is that? We call it a drinking fountain, or sometimes a water fountain. Never a bubbler. I know some people call it that, and not anything else. Just a drinking fountain or a water fountain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any major differences compared to how I pronounce things or words I use. If you haven't yet, there's a really cool online quiz that has gone around. I want to say it's like from the New York Times or some kind of newspaper, where you can take this quiz and it'll give you, it's all about like dialects and pronunciation and word choice. But it gives you like a heat map of the US, and it tells you like which areas of the country you speak the most like. It was pretty accurate for me, and it even can go down to like cities within a state, not just like you talk like the Midwest. So that is cool. I would just Google like dialect quiz, something like that. But yeah, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in another video.